Crazy, man. I got so many memories right there, man. Selling crack, shootouts, try to kick the dough in on me and my moms and my sister. A lot of came from this house to that house, man. We used to stand out with guns right there, guns right here when motherfuckers come up the street. Major shootout, man.
Will GTA 6 ever happen in our lifetimes? Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be checking out behind the scenes of GTA 5, how that game was made from the perspective of Trevor's voice actor, and also the real actor. And he's going to be talking about, I want to actually listen to it. I'm like very curious. This is something that I have never seen in terms of like GTA. And right now I'm kind of like on a binge of watching like behind the scenes of all the movies and all the games that I actually love, you know what I mean? And it's going to be very interesting to see stuff like that when GTA 6 comes out. When exactly, I'm not sure. Let's actually get into it. Drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and actually how'd you see?
Here, you were shooting on Toronto.
Yeah, and that was, I would say, the first direct result of. I don't think I would have got that had I not been with GTA, because the director, Jason Kochek, saw that I was Trevor, and he's, you know, like many directors are in their 20s, so they're gamers. And they're, if nothing else, they're like, I just want to work with this guy.
Wow.
Even if he's a terrible actor, just this is Trevor. So that was the first sort of direct thing. But you know, even talking there with Kevin about it's the voice acting thing. I mean, it was a motion capture performance. The entire thing was motion capture.
That's the voice actor and the mocap actor of Nathan Drake, right? Like Uncharted. I'm forgetting his name.
Really only done near the end when we got into a studio and did right into a mic for some of the car scenes where we're just talking.
I was wondering how this works, because it's sort of it's very realistic animation that we see in Grand Theft Auto 5. So what does motion capture mean?
Motion capture is you're basically in almost a spandex suit.
Realistic, ladies and gentlemen, realistic.
Which is for some flattering and for others not so flattering, because there's nothing really to hide.
For a 2013 game, listen, I'm not joking around about the stuff that, yeah, man, you know what, realistic, this and that. It was actually realistic, but all the gamers know there is nothing realistic about GTA 5 right now. But GTA 5 is either considered the best game by a lot of people, or it's like very much hated. I feel like saying that the game is hated, it's kind of wrong, because most people are currently hating the idea of GTA 5 being the only game from Rockstar Games that's out there. Most people are sick and tired and want to see GTA 6, quite frankly, myself included. But if you push that to aside, GTA 5 is a masterpiece. It's a phenomenal game. Look, I love GTA 4, I love San Andreas, I love mostly all the GTA games. Facts are facts. GTA 5, from a technical standpoint, from graphically speaking, even from a gameplay standpoint, it is crazy. It is an amazing game. It's a masterpiece. It's phenomenal. Came out back in 2013, and there are so many games that tried to compete with it. For example, the Cyberpunks, I know most people will be like, bruh, it's a role-playing game, it's not even in the same category. I do agree with you, but at the same time, that's an open world game that actually had the Babylon, it had the cops, and those don't even work. They spawn out right out of NPC's butthole, okay? Like, that's actually what is happening in Cyberpunk. But when you look at GTA 5, my man, this game is just light years ahead, even after almost a decade. I'm having a tough time believing it.
Essentially, all over, these little tiny, like marbles, all over you. On your head, you have a helmet, and you've got these bars with a bright light and a camera right on you. So that's right in your face. So even when you're talking, like if we were doing this scene motion capture, we would be suited up, we would be in seats, we'd have a table, we'd have a mic, and we'd be talking to each other through these sort of, you know, bars and cameras. And then we've got our fingers, we've got our toes. And what you can see up on the screen is your actual, I used to call it my avatar. They didn't like when I said my avatar, but I was like, that's my avatar. You can see everything.
Why didn't they like it?
The GTA 6 gameplay that ended up leaking out recently, it looks awfully similar.
I have no idea, I never asked.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So it is 100% acting. Every bone of your body, right?
Oh, yeah.
For those who haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5, and this is a really interesting character that you play. Not a particularly
sweet
one. Yeah. Can you describe Trevor for people? How would you describe him?
Troubled. He's troubled. I mean, he's I tried to do things like
toxic masculinity,
loyalty. I mean, he does have a loyalty. He does have a sense of humor, however dark and sick and twisted it is. There is humor in him. I mean, which is, you know, when people say, "Oh, I found myself laughing and a little uncomfortable laughing," I'm like, "Okay, great. I did my job as far as I'm concerned." Didn't want to make him this one-note psychopath. But he's, you know, yeah, he needs that rush. He needs the rush of the be it the drugs or the crime or whatever that fuels him. But he's also incredibly loyal to those around him. If you cross him, he'll...
It's interesting because the character is so extreme. He's almost a parody of a bad guy, and yet he feels real. How do you make him real?
that was the big challenge. How do you make this guy who's larger than life real? And it was just really about finding the connection with another person. I mean, you find the sense of humor with this guy, find his relationship to other people. And if you're doing your job as an actor and you're communicating those words and you're really talking to the other person, the humanity is going to come through, regardless of the situation, be it ridiculous or not.
It feels like we live in an era of amoral bad guys in films and TV, to choose from as influences if you were looking for one. Did you have inspirations from your own viewing, or were you out to make Trevor your own?
The biggest...
Has to be.
I mean, because I'm not a fan of copycatting by any means, but certainly one performance that I recognized that was an influence in there a lot. But I had some strange influences that came into the actual performance of Trevor.
It does show. Let's be real.
Tom Hardy in the movie Bronson. The movie itself, that sort of glorified, I felt, this terrible man, Bronson. I loved the film, but it was somewhat of a glorification. But that performance that Tom Hardy gave had that larger-than-life theatricality to it, but there still was this humanity and sense of humor, even though I didn't like the guy. So what Tom Hardy did with Bronson, I certainly looked to that, but then I also looked at,
Man, I want to tell you this. This was uploaded like almost 4 years ago, okay? Shocking to actually hear that. The actor behind Trevor of today is completely different. It seems like that right now he's kind of embracing the character, and for the longest amount of time, even as like last year, I remember seeing videos of the Trevor's actor just going on record and just talking about it. Yeah, man, like I did GTA 5, like I did that. Like there was sense of proud. But recently, I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar, but recently he's almost implying the idea that he's like sick and tired of the role. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want to do anything to do with it. And I mean, listen, we're all different, right? Like I cannot put myself in his shoes, because if I were able to, then I would probably understand. Because like now the vibe that I'm getting from him is that a lot of people are asking him about GTA 6, right? Like, are you gonna be in GTA 6? Chances are not really, or maybe he is gonna be, or maybe he's just sick and tired of being asked about GTA 5. Like, are we gonna see you more, maybe like as a DLC in GTA Online, just like how we saw Franklin DLC, right? I don't know, man. It seems like that GTA 5 was so big for him. It was so crazy to the point where even a decade later, he's still talking about it. He's asked about it. This game is keep on selling more and more, and more people are actually playing the game for the first time. As shocking as it might be to hear, it's actually true. A lot more people have bought this game, like 5 million sales every quarter, so 20 million sales a year. I believe these are kind of like the rough numbers that we have been hearing mostly every single year, which is just crazy because Call of Duty is considered to be the best-selling game of every year. It does like 20 million, sometimes 30 million in its entire life cycle, whereas GTA 5, it does 20 million a year. Just absolutely crazy. It's just very odd to see Trevor of today just getting rid of it. It's more like, hey man, your success becomes your I'm forgetting the actual term, help me out in the comments, but your success becomes your failure, kinda, because next time whenever you're trying to do something new, you're always comparing yourself with it, if that makes sense.
A film like Bullhead, where he has this intensity. So certain roles like that, I certainly looked at and watched.
One of the things your character Trevor does in this game, I mean, I guess the most controversial aspect of the game is torture someone very, very brutally. Describe what you had to do in that scene.
That one was just purely, all I really remember was the technical shooting of that. I mean, the only difference with all these mediums, TV, film, theater, video games now, is the technical aspect. So to film that, I just had to be aware of, we had different sort of instruments, and the actor sitting in the chair, you can't, for lack of a better word, touch balls or cross balls because then the animators can't animate it. So you have to be very aware of where you're interacting with the person. So in that particular scene, and then you have dialogue. So I'm just thinking about, okay, how can I get it in there without crossing so that the animators can do their job? So I'm sort of thinking of the whole team and the technical aspect. You're not necessarily
thinking you tear a guy's teeth out with pliers, you waterboard him, you break his kneecaps.
I'm not thinking like, what are the social ramifications of this?
You don't have discomfort in acting that.
No, that was just doing that.
This raises the question. Simon Parkin, writing in the New Yorker, discussed his own discomfort merely playing the game, right, as a gamer. And he wrote that video games...
Yo, man, Trevor was absolutely catching feelings for her.
Might actually have a greater moral responsibility than cinema, because as he put it, when we watch a violent scene in a film or read a description of violence in a novel, no matter how graphic it is, we are merely spectators. In in video games, we are active virtual participants. What do you make of that? Do you think video games should be judged with a higher moral bar than
Don't play the video games. They're toxic. They're gonna get you toxic.
other art forms?
No, because I think, you know, the torture scene is no better or worse than what you see, even like what Breaking Bad does. I mean, there's even on television now. Forget the
Thank you, man. Thank you. Giga Chat. That's actually what I wanted to hear.
cinema.
Facts.
What we see on TV is getting more and more graphic and more violent. And I understand his point regarding that because you're the first
interaction.
player, the interaction might heighten it. But
And
I
is a
don't
kid
know.
playing that going to have the context or the moral nuances, you know?
I think if the kid has good parenting, I mean, I'm kind of old school with the idea of if you have parents that communicate. Now, again, okay, what if you don't have the parenting, you don't? But it's not the video game's fault. It's just like video games don't cause violence any more than the heavy metal music causes violence. I think that whole argument is like those are people that sit back and probably don't do anything about it.
Yo, honestly, like, I remember playing GTA 5 as a kid, or you can say 17 years. 17 years kind of kid, you know. I mean, a better example, I played GTA San Andreas as a kid, okay? That I can prove. I'm 26 now, right? So I was actually a kid, and I was 17 when GTA 5 came out. Let that sink in. I would be 30 when GTA 6 comes out, and God knows if I would be around when GTA 7 comes out. God knows if you would be around or not. I mean, damn, that's a whole nother topic. I remember playing Modern Warfare 2 as a kid. You remember No Russian Mission? And when I played GTA 5 and when I played Modern Warfare 2 as a kid, I was just looking at it, I was like, bruh, like, you know, I was just shooting around. I didn't think of it as much, and now playing that as an adult, I'm like, damn, man. So I really played that, but it's more like the media has so many times, they have used this topic so many times that games cause violence, that now I'm like just looking back and I'm like, damn, bro, like I played it as a kid, didn't think of it as anything. I was just like, bruh, it's just a game, and now you're making me think that it was something else when it's clearly not. It's just a video game. And if you have good parenting, bro, like, you're gonna turn out okay. Most people are gonna turn out okay.
You got to participate. I mean, if you have a child playing these games, talk to your child. Why do you like watching this? What's exciting about this? And it's that is the problem. I think the human communication needs to strengthen and quit worrying about.
Yep, I agree.
My name is Sean Fontino, but everybody know me as
Problematic. That's problematic.
streets as Solo.
Everybody got love for Big Solo, man.
Watts, man, from LA, and well, I'm currently the video game actor for Grand Theft Auto 5. I play the character Franklin.
Fuck you, bitch. Oh, you trying to roll on me, fool? Can't repo the assets of a dead man sitting cheap.
Well, from a teenager, man, you know, I was a rebellious little dude, man. At that time when I was living with my grandmother, I was from a neighborhood around there called Neighborhood Crips. I got into the streets, man. You know, I was young, I was probably like 12. But you could pull a lot over on your grandmother and your grandparents than you could over on your parents.
A little bit of trouble when they was young. You know, we lived through all of the trouble part of it.
I can honestly say that I know what it feels like to be on both sides of the gun, you know what I'm saying? That's what I went through in my life, man. From coming from selling drugs and gangbanging, being in the worst shit in my life.
Man, one thing that I really appreciate about Rockstar Games is that they definitely go out of their way and hire some like real people with like real experiences. That makes the game even more real, you know what I mean?
I call it hell.
Los Santos approach control. This is
Crazy, man.
119.3, over.
I was classified at that era as a baller.
You had it all, everything. You know, y'all know. Birds, Lolos, SS Impalas.
Now this right here is the house I grew up in, man, 374. It looked a lot better than what we had, man, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
When the bullshit came, man, when this where it came from. Before that, man, you know, I was just a normal little kid.
Yeah, drop a thumbs up if you remember this mission in GTA 5, man. It's awfully similar.
It's crazy, man. I got so many memories right there, man. Selling crack, shootouts, try to kick the dough in on me and my moms and my sister. A lot of shit came from this house to that house, man. We used to stand out with guns right there, guns right here, when motherfuckers come up the street, major shootout, man. Non-stop, dude. You ain't nothing but a punk. I got Young Melee, man. Y'all know who Young Melee is, man. The world knows this motherfucker is, man. It's the nigga, man. Tell him who you is, nigga.
But ladies and gentlemen, click on this video on the screen. It's crazy. People are getting bumble clapped, and I will see you right there.